What is up, everybody? It's your boy Flash from ALWT Gaming, aka Malachi36. I am here with Mildewy Carrot, and it's the 9-ball. Once again, obviously my video's turned off just because I have technical issues with this computer, so we're just going to kind of go on an audio podcast for Flash, but everyone else is going to be on that vlogging status, you know what I mean? So first and foremost, I want to turn it on over to Mr. Purple Background. How are you doing today, good sir?
Good day. I good too. Yes. I'm
Awesome.
doing okay. Can't complain. Just woke up today, thankfully, and just living another day.
And it's been a beautiful day yesterday and today. I'm loving this weather we've been having, and cannot wait for spring to get more spring-like.
Normally I'm a winter person, but I do want spring because I'm also kind of the person who likes to grow stuff, and not like flowers and all, but I like to grow crops and plants, for canning or making my own powders, pepper powders and stuff like that. But it's weird this year, especially in our area, apparently coming here for the next weekend, this week and next week, we're supposed to get below freezing temps at night. So it's going to be interesting. Gonna be interesting.
Well, you know who's always an interesting person? It's the 9-ball. How are you doing today, good sir?
Doing okay, I think. Yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
You did check. He's looked down wait a minute. Yep, nope.
Yeah, make sure I wasn't muted or anything.
Check.
Yeah. That's awesome. Awesome. What's been new with you? What's been happening?
Me? Not too much. Watching some shows and still playing Control and doing much to do it from time to time. Watching. Oh God, what shows am I watching? Picard, and I got to catch up on The Last of Us. Me and Tiara is supposed to be watching a couple of anime. Besides that, hours of Roblox too with the kids.
Awesome.
I've been trying to do games.
That's awesome. So yeah, last week when we were all together, had some good times talking about video game news, all that good stuff. After that time period, just crap hit the fan entirely for me. Everything outside of ALWT gaming, my guys. It has been, the struggle bus is absolutely real. I ain't gonna lie to you. On Wednesday, I ended up waking up first and foremost, TMI for anyone that's watching right now. Giving you guys a full heads up right now. You have been warned. TMI. But I ended up waking up at 3 in the morning on Wednesday, just straight up having the diarrhea and then throw up almost every 20 minutes. It was really, really bad. And
What did you eat,
weird,
man?
That
sounds like food poisoning.
It was terrible. So on Wednesday we had at work we had a meeting, but in office. So we were meeting obviously our uppers and stuff like that, board, all that good stuff. Then I left there and I decided, because I was heading back home so I could continue working and everything, and I decided to make a quick little pit stop to Burger King. Right, just a quick little pit stop.
And there's the whatever you had.
Yeah. So I had it. Everything was cool. I had that probably around. I think the meeting ended roughly around 1-2 o'clock, something like that. And then so around that time period is when I had it. I was fine for the rest of the day. Everything was cool. Woke up at 3 in the morning, and that's when all this was happening. And then I tried to go to sleep so I could try to at least get better and just go back to work, just be able to clock in and do work and everything. Was not happening. Had to call off that day. Was absolute terrible.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Then the next day came up, still same thing. Luckily I wasn't throwing up as much, but it was still the same thing as far as diarrhea every 20 seconds. I couldn't stay by it. I couldn't even.
Did you have a bug or something? Because that don't sound like food poisoning.
Oh well, that's the thing.
It can be food poisoning. Food poisoning can last. Trust me, yeah. I've had food poisoning before. It can last.
I had some recently, and it was one day for me, and I just got really sick.
Yeah. At least the constitution's plus 30.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, I'm not ruling out food poisoning, but I don't feel like it was. Like, I really don't feel like it was. I don't know generally what it else. I mean, like, outside of that, if you ask me what it is, I couldn't tell you. So, like, the best case scenario probably is that it was food poisoning. But I don't feel like that was the scenario. Like, that's just so weird that this was happening. And then so that was happening on Thursday. Then Friday came along, and I started feeling a little better, but still more of the same thing. But my diarrhea runs to the bathroom were far in between now at this point, but it was still happening. Had a massive headache, and it was just all sorts of kind of like bad. But I was feeling better. I was able to walk around now and actually walk outside and get some like fresh air and everything like that. And I started feeling better towards the end portion of Friday, which was good. And then there's other things that was just happening outside that was business-wise that was terrible. I ended up watching a anime movie, which we're going to talk about later on in this segment, surprisingly enough, because it's one of our stories, that I was extremely thrilled and excited for, and it ended up being an ultimate disappointment. Ultimate disappointment.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about all that today because, again, this is All Things Gaming, episode 7 of 2023 on ironically, it's going to be on March 7th, 2023. Every single Tuesday, we get together, we talk to you guys about video game news, updates, anime news, entertainment news, anything that has to do with news in the entertainment industry, the things that we love about it, the things that we hate about it, the things that's new, aka news, and all that. Of course, we are going to be actually planning to start doing more streams here. Other than just Tuesday, we're going to start getting back to our SIN segments and our 9 to 5s starting in April. Starting in April is going to be that. I do have a stream that's pending for this Thursday, but it's not going to be. It's going to be a crossover. It's not going to be strictly just ALWT game. I'm still waiting on the other party to see if there's going to be one in the stream. But I will say to you guys live on the air right now, if you guys have Dying Light 2 or access to PlayStation Extra or and above, you guys are more than welcome to join me on the stream on that, assuming it goes through at 6 p.m. on Thursday. So.
How's that game? I don't remember.
Dying Light 2? It came out last year.
I've got Dying Light. I don't have Dying Light 2.
Gotcha. Yeah, it would be Dying Light 2 for this one. So if you own it, cool, power to you. And I think it's actually even discounted if that is something that's up your alley. If you don't own it, but you have extra or premium, it's actually included inside your subscription already. So you just got to download it. But
I'm not cool like that.
But without further ado, I do want to jump inside the Fantasy Gaming League and give a little updates because some things have shifted. A game came out that I guess I didn't realize came out. I thought it was going to come out towards the end of this month, but it came out earlier this month and everything like that. And I kind of want to talk about all of this. So on here we have this thing that's fantasy football like. It's for video games though. So pretty much it's very similar how fantasy football works. But instead of you being against one person on a weekly basis, you're against everybody on an annual. And then it's based off of a 100-point scale. So you use draft games to your list, and then depending on what they score on the Metacritic, anything that's above 70 points, scores 70 points, gains you points to add to your score for the end of the year. Anything that gets you below 70 points loses you points, and then anything that's right at 70 is just vacant. There's another doesn't gain nor lose. There's also another twist in there which is called counter picks. You have one, and you have to. If you have a counter pick that you're going to do to another person's game, like your opponent, you're screwing them over. You're essentially trying to screw them over because you're trying to think that there's going to be a game that's going to come out that you don't think is going to do well. So you gain those points. So you're kind of leeching off of the points that they would have lost. You would gain those points, and then they lose the points just like normal. But the vice versa can happen. So if the game comes out and does amazing, then you lose the points and they just gain the points like they normally would. But if the game gets delayed into 2024 or the following year, I should say, then they cannot drop that game because you just made it a vacant spot for them. So there you go. So on that, I'm just going to go down the list on this. I'm not going to do first through 8th, which is what I normally do. Zaka Corp, aka It's the Nine Ball. He has 9 games on his list right now, 1 open spot. His games are as such: Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Wolong Fallen Dynasty. That came out for, at least for critics recently, and it got an 82 on Metacritic, which got him 12 points. That's the game I thought was coming out at the end of this month, and it's out already. So that's kind of interesting to me. Redfall, which is pending. Wolf Among Us 2, which is not coming out this year. Oh, when did they announce that? That was someone counterpicked that game.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's not coming out this year. So whoever counterpicked it correctly. That was Illuminatus Living. Illuminatus Living had confirmed that. Then he has The Plucky Squire, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, Warhammer 40k, Space Marine 2, System Shock, Tekken 8, and like I said before, he has an open spot. So right now, I'm going to do something a little different here. So after we just went through your list and seeing where you're at right now, 12 points, 2 games came out, 1 got you points, 1 is vacant. How are you feeling about your list right now, Nineball?
It's fine.
You're feeling fine?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I got Zelda that's coming out this year. I got Redfall. The last one's at the bottom, and I got 1 empty slot left just in case.
Okay. Next up is ALWT Gaming, aka me. I have Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6, Hades 2, Forza Motorsport, Xbox Series X version, Horizon Call of the Mountain, which got me 80 points on Metacritic, 10 points in total. Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals, Eater Knight, Stellar Blade, Power World, Remnant 2, and I have a counterpick of Black Myth Wukong, which is not coming out this year. For me, and I have 10 points right now, 1 game had dropped, and the other 9 are still pending. I feel pretty strong about my list on Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6, and Remnant 2. I feel like Remnant 2 is going to happen this year. My other ones, like I don't know about Pal World. Like there hasn't been any updates that I've seen at all. Stellar Blade, I have a feeling that we're going to get, that one has a hit or miss factor on it. I think that could hit this year. Eater Knights, I think, is hitting this year. I think that's hitting this summer. I have no idea about Oxenfree. I actually don't even know what the game is, but I know that a lot of people, or a decent amount of people, are excited about that. Forza Motorsport, it's a racing game, so I think that pretty much anyone that's in the racing space is going to like that. And then lastly, I don't know where we're at for Hades 2. I don't know. I mean, if it drops this year, I think it'll be fantastic. But I think out of all the other games, I think that's the only other game that I can see getting delayed until 2024. So we'll see. And the next one up will be Illuminatus Living, who has Resident Evil 4 Remake, Hollow Knight Silksong. Those 2 are still pending. Then the rest, and Sea of Stars, that's pending as well. Then he has
Sea of Stars. That sounds cool.
Then he has Octopath Traveler 2, which got an 84 on Metacritic, got him 14 points. Like a Dragon Ishin, which got 81 on Metacritic, which got him 11 points. And he has a counterpick, which was recently successful, of The Wolf Among Us 2. He's at 25 points right now. Obviously, I can't ask him how he feels about his game picks and if he's going to be picking up the other 5 games because they're just vacant there. Or they're just open there, so there you go. Titan Brain Go Punch has Fire Emblem Engage, which got him 11 points, 81 on Metacritic. And then he has Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line, which got him 16 points, which is an 86 on Metacritic. He has 6 other games that are pending, which is Liza P, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, Pikmin 4, Final Fantasy Rebirth, Metro Prime 4, and Dragon Age Dreadwolf. And then he has a counterpick of Bayonetta Origins, Cereza, and the Lost Demon. He's currently right now in 28 points, which he is in second place right now. He's only in second place. In first place, to no surprise, is right now our first year's winner, Carrot Patch Inc., a.k.a. Mildew Carrot. He has 3 games that came out this year, and that came out already. He has, which means that he has 6 other games that are pending, and he has 1 open spot. So he has Hogwarts Legacy, which got him 14 points, 84 on Metacritic. He has Wild Hearts, got 9 points, 79 on Metacritic. Company of Heroes 3, 10 points, 80 on Metacritic. And then the rest that's pending is Marvel Spider-Man 2, Sons of the Forest, Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, Minecraft Legends, Terranel, Adeliza Ryza 3, Adeliza Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End, and The Secret Key. And then he has a counter pick of One Piece Odyssey, which got a 74 on Metacritic, so he lost 4 points from that. How do you feel about your list right now, Mildewey?
I'm just having fun. You know, I'm okay taking whatever place. You know, it could be last this year. Right now, I'm just having fun. I am kind of enjoying and curious to see about all these lists and all these games are marked with just a year date instead of an actual finalized. So it's really making this league very interesting comparative to what it first was when we had very definitive dates and everything. Now it's like we're very pushed back, and also it's like, what's happening here?
Yeah. And then the rest of the people which are not on the stream with us, but they are inside here, we have Dr. Q, aka Dr. Cuse. Keese, he has 5 games. One of them has dropped already, and the rest are pending. He has Suicide Squad, Killed Justice League, Alan Wake 2, Dead Island 2, Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. Those are all pending. The game that dropped for him is Dead Space Remake, which got 19 points, 89 on Metacritic, and he has a counter pick of Forspoken, which did not do too high. It got 67 on Metacritic, which got him an additional 3 points. So he's sitting right now in fourth place at 22 points. Next up is Gravitron, who has Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is pending, and Skull and Bones, which is pending. He has a game that Black Myth Wukong did not come out this year. And then he has 2 games that dropped. One was Forspoken, which got negative 3 points, and then Atomic Heart, which got him 4 points, plus 4 points. So that was a 74 on Metacritic. He has a counter pick of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And then lastly, we have Moga, Make Ohio Great Again, who got Diablo 4, Starfield, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. And that's all pending. His game that had dropped is One Piece Odyssey, which got him 4 points.
One Piece!
74 on Metacritic. He has a counter pick of Skull and Bones, which is probably not going to do hot this year. He's probably going to get some more points from that. And then he has 5 open spots still.
How do you know? It might do great.
Nah, it's going to be terrible.
It's going to be game of the year. Just wait. You're going to be like, oh, man, I wish I had picked that one. I'll be like, I'm sorry.
Frequent Hellhole. Hi, I just want to offer promotions of your channel, viewers, followers, and views, chats, bots. The price is lower than any competitor. The quality is guaranteed at best. Auto on, incredible, flexible, and convenient. Order management panel. Everything is in your hands. Turn it on, off, customize. Go to dodgehype.com. Want to let you know, F off Frequent Hellhole. Go back to hell, like the hole you came out of.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Amount of people that try and just bot spam.
Yep. Banning you right now. Never show your face here again. Ever. Alright, cool. Now our timeline looks much cleaner. Much cleaner. Yeah, I had to get rid of a couple viruses there, you know what I mean?
Ooh.
Alright.
You definitely got rid of a couple this week, you know?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, actually, you know what? The virus that I had, his comment was the worst one. Okay, so story number 1. This is the big one here because a lot of people have been. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you already know. If you're not a Dragon Ball Z fan, you're about to become one because Tenkaichi is back, baby. Story number 1 says Wesley LeBlanc from Game Informer, which a lot of our stuff is not coming from GameSpot, which is where I normally pull it from. It's not gonna be from GameSpot this time. Wesley LeBlanc from Game Informer says this in the article. Bandai Namco has revealed a new Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi game. Yesterday, the publisher released a short teaser trailer before the game. I'm going to stop the server right there for a second. We're going to watch that here in a second together. Nothing too spectacular, just a little bit of something, but running less than a minute. It highlights the footage from the previous Budokai Tenkaichi games before showcasing what appears to be the new one. In one of the footage of the game, we see Goku powering up. Then in the words, "Get ready for battle," and "a new sparking begins," appear on screen. As you can see, the game might be called in some variations Dragon Ball Sparking. That's what the tweets have calls it. If you use the Twitter's built-in translation function too. But regardless, the trailer ends with a new Budokai Tenkaichi begins, quelling any doubt that this is a new game in the series that has laid dormant in 16 years. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was released in 2007. The teaser trailer doesn't indicate that if this is Budokai Tenkaichi 4 or something else, but it's exciting nonetheless to see that Bandai Namco hasn't forgotten about the series. It is somewhat surprising to see this announcement, though, considering Dragon Ball Fighters exists. Budokai Tenkaichi is a fighting game series as well, but to see a new one before the sequel of Fighters, which was released in 2018, is something I might not have imagined many people could have predicted. So I want to comment on that real fast. I do want to comment on that because here's the reason why. I had that thought at first, and this one I'm actually very disappointed in Blessing specifically from Kind of Funny Games. All right, this one I'm disappointed in him specifically. So Blessing, if you happen to see this in the future, shame on you. Shame on you for not mentioning this game that I'm about to mention. So, yes, I did think about Dragon Ball Fighters, and I'm actually kind of shocked that people jumped to Dragon Ball Fighters first, because Dragon Ball Fighters is the style of fighting for that game is very much like Street Fighter. You know what I mean? It's a side scrollers. It's not a 3D fighter like how it is for Tekken. So that's one reason why I was kind of disappointed in Blessing, because he had mentioned something about that. But yeah, he had mentioned something about that. But yeah, no, you can't move side to side like in fighters like Tekken. It's more like, again, like Street Fighter. So that's one. Two, there's another game, like he mentioned Raging Blast, which was accurate. That was a game that's very similar to Tenkaichi, but it just didn't hit like Tenkaichi did. He also mentioned Ultimate Tenkaichi, which I owned that game at one point, and that game was absolute heart garbo. That was not what we wanted. So he did mention Tenkaichi 1 through 3, which again were all pretty great games, especially. And I feel like that for anime games, Tenkaichi really introduced the genre of arena fighters for animes. It really kind of, because at that point beforehand, Budokai 1, 2, 3, just Budokai alone, it was one of those like, okay, you're fighting side by side and it's cool and the characters look cool and everything like that, but you it's just a fighter. Tenkaichi, the first one, that one, it literally felt like that you were the actually in the anime at that point. And it's because of how they have it set. It's very Jump Force like. It's very even Naruto, like the games Naruto and everything like that. That's also, it's very similar to that too as well. But this is where my main disappointment comes into. You did not once mention Dragon Ball Xenoverse. If Tenkaichi is like anything of modern fighting, like for Dragon Ball Z games, Xenoverse, it should definitely be up there. That should have been one of the first things you said. You could even mention Kakarot, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which is the RPG. It's different but the same. Like the fighting is very similar to that. But Xenoverse would have been the appropriate answer. So, Blessing, if you are listening to this in the future, shame on you. I want you in a corner for like 5 minutes, and then I forgive you. Okay? But
like he's scolding his kid there.
Hey, I'm just saying, I got to make sure my boy is accountable. I gotta make sure he's accountable for his actions. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys real quick, because I have the video up right now, and we're about to watch this together. Yeah, we're about to watch this together. Let me know when you guys can see the screen.
Do I really want to look?
Yes.
I don't. I'm being forced to.
Yeah.
Well, if you're out there, help us.
It says I've been disconnected. Oh, I don't have to watch it. Yay!
Quiet you.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, cool. All right, here we go. So, rolling the trailer.
Hold on, I need some bleach.
Now, here we go. This is the trailer here.
Is this the One Piece?
One Piece or something, alright.
Yeah. So as you see right here, as we mentioned inside the story, it's going through the former Tenkaichi games. And boy, let me tell you, this was a lot of fun growing up. This is a lot of fun playing these games.
Nothing like playing through the actual story of the anime, you know, in
Absolutely.
different formats.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But actually, to be honest with you, this one though, like this one, I have more fun playing against my friends. Like the story was cool because then there's like certain mini games that was in the story because of the anime and stuff like that they brought inside the game, and that was like some of it was like hard actually, but it was very interactive, which was really cool. All right. So yeah, so there you have it. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4 announcement. We just kind of saw. Again, it's not confirmed if it's called 4. It's not confirmed if it's called 4, and it's not or anything like that. But it definitely is another Dragon Ball Z game, which we're very excited about.
Very excited.
So my question to you guys then would be: did any of you guys have any familiarities with Tenkaichi back in the day? Any like what if you guys did you guys play any Dragon Ball Z games back in the day? And if so, what was it? What got you?
We played a bit. I think it was Tenkaichi, but I don't remember. It was like a long time ago. I played with my friends, and we played a few Dragon Ball Z games that night. I remember we did play a fighting one. I think that was it, but outside of that, I don't really know much about it. I think we're just screwing around over there.
Okay. What about you there, Mil? Do you have any history with the Tenkaichi series or even Budokai series for that matter?
The only one I have any knowledge of is the one that you I played with you for a bit. So one where it's like you had cards that you equipped to your characters and leveled up. Like
yes, on PS3, that was the Battle of Gods.
I think so. Yeah, that's the only one I'm familiar with.
Snap, dude, we got to get back to that. I still own that.
And then of course Xenoverse. You know, Xenoverse I actually really enjoy more just because it's an AU original story.
Mm-hmm.
Mixing in a lot of the concepts but giving it its own flair. So Xenoverse definitely, in my opinion, takes top still in terms of just originality. But I know people like the other Tenkaichis just because of the pure fighting and, you know, playing of and as those characters.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. So let me ask you guys this thing, because like this is something that is high on my radar. Like I definitely want to check it out. And I also have a question for you guys too as well. And you guys might have a different viewpoint as far as like again not being so high on the Tenkaichi scale as I was. And I say was because it's been 16 years since I played the last one. So obviously it's been a while. But when this comes out and it's announced Tenkaichi 4 and all that good stuff, would you guys have an interest in playing this game?
It depends if other people have it. No. It's not one of those games I'm going to really play on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lie about it. I don't really get into fighting games like that. So, yeah. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't.
I'm going to have to wait a bit more on it just because my issue with it is just if it's like those old ones where it's like you're just playing along the storyline of the actual story of the anime, that just it does lose a lot of interest to me. Even if I'm playing with friends, like I feel like I just lose a bit of the pizzazz to the game. You know, like the want to play it, like to be able to dive in. Like, yes, I really like this. Like, it's more of this time. It just be more of like, oh, we can kick Frieza's butt as Goku again. Mm-hmm. You know, it really depends on what it is and what's doing. You know, if it was something along the lines of like a Xenoverse, which I'm gonna always go back to just because I find sometimes the games that are based off of an anime and just play straight to the story of the anime, they just don't really appeal to me. So if it does something where it's like it's got its own unique effect to it with the story and all, maybe, but I don't know. That one's a very low bar one for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I understand that because we've had this conversation possibly with us three, but also with Ohio. I've had this conversation separately with him. He also is very in that very same vein that he's just like when I play a video game, I want to be the character. I don't want to have to play it as somebody. I want to create my own person, do X, Y, Z, all that good stuff. And I get that. And honestly, if I had to choose between that, that's how I want to play too as well. But what I do also enjoy is being able to see these dope animated moments and you see them inside the animation, but then you can actually kind of experience the fictional power firsthand by playing the game. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell you how awesome it is to me, at least, whenever I was fighting, like going back to Xenoverse, which again gives me a whole other perspective of Goku and Trunks and all them, when I was fighting Beerus and Whis at the same time, and they were just kicking my ever-loving tail. And I'm just like, bro, and they're just sparring with me. So it kind of makes me think like, all right, if I'm doing this and my character that I created is decked out in gear and everything like that, and Goku's able to hang with them or whatever, like, mad props to Goku. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of gives me a new, again, I have a different lens when it comes to that. Because, yeah, would I like to have my own creative character, which in Xenoverse I did. But I'm just saying, in general, when I do experience game, like even for Demon Slayer, when I was inside the temple and anytime that the guy would hit the drum, the room would shift. That was so cool to play through. It was such a cool map design to kind of go through and fight this boss on a room that's literally changing as I'm dodging stuff and then just pulling out my combos and everything. So I definitely see both sides of it. Again, I do agree with you guys that if I had the choice of not playing this story one for one, just having a new original story versus something that I've already seen, I would rather do a new original story. Yes. But me being able to play through the Dragon Ball Z storyline, I don't mind that. The problem that I have with it is specifically that it's Dragon Ball Z, and I say that because they've done so many games where they just start you at Raditz,
yeah,
and then end at Majin Buu. It's just so. If it wasn't so diluted, if it wasn't so many games, then I think that it would have been absolutely wonderful because. That's one of my complaints with Kakarot. Even though I beat Kakarot, I like Kakarot actually quite a bit. But we've already had that same storyline set up for the past 25 years.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that one because I've played them. Like when we was in school, I remember what was we going before we went to go see the 2005 Doom movie. We was playing Dragon Ball Z, and it was like we played up to the to the androids before we had to go. Mm-hmm. I remember that because we was killing time and stuff, was kidding around, but
killing time.
But but the whole thing about it is you're absolutely right. I've seen these. That's probably why I haven't really bought Kakarot because I'm like I've played through this like 80 times, and now we're up to Dragon Ball Super. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, we can start, if you want, we can start putting in some Super. And I would love to make your own character in the Xenoverse and play through the battle for the world, for the universes. And you can make your own character and actually be in that battle.
Yes.
Something like that would be awesome.
That is Xenoverse.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The one thing that's beautiful about Xenoverse specifically, because the Ultimate Tenkaichi was like the first game that I can think of that was Dragon Ball Z related, where you can create your own person. So I was stoked about that. The problem with Ultimate Tenkaichi is that it wasn't a fighting game; it was rock paper scissors. I'm not even joking; it legitimately was rock paper scissors.
So it's kind of like Pokemon in a way.
It kind of was. It was like I was very disappointed in Ultimate Tenkaichi. The only thing that was cool is I was able to create my own fighter. And then it wasn't until Xenoverse is when I started seeing that, okay, I'm playing through these same stories, but there's a huge twist because it doesn't feel like it's the same stories anymore because they are switching it up to where certain things that had happened in the show didn't happen in this game because the timeline is messed up. So the entire time I'm playing through the game, I feel like I'm watching a brand new episode of a series I'm familiar with. And that was something that I highly enjoyed about Xenoverse. My problem with Xenoverse 2 is that it pretty much was a carbon copy of Xenoverse 1 for 50% of it, and then it started becoming its own thing. But it took too long to get to be its own thing.
I can agree with that one on that. It definitely took a little bit. It took more to get started on that one, but once you got going, I think it's worth it. You just had to have a bit of patience with it,
Yeah, and I ended up beating Xenoverse 2 as well. So I'm so I'm definitely not dogging it for that. But it was one of those things where, and I will say,
like Xenoverse.
Xenoverse 1's final boss was much harder than Xenoverse 2's final boss. Xenoverse 2 final boss was a joke. Like, I beat that way too easily.
Here's the thing, though. I feel like a lot of the Xenoverse 2 bosses, Xenoverse 1 bosses, like towards the even like middle and end and all, like were just so just annoying unless you built right or grinded for a bit to get up to them, whereas with Xenoverse 2, it didn't really give me much of that feel,
It was a walk. Xenoverse 2 was a walkthrough from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Everything about it was too easy. I agree with you. That, like, I'm not the grinding type of person. I do like playing a story, but I do like a challenge to where it's just like I have the option to grind, or I can try to cheese this boss as I am and beat him. Because it's one of those video game moments that if I do beat the boss, even though I'm not like, if I'm supposed to be level 75 and I'm only level 60, but I take him on, and if I do somehow manage to beat him, dude, that's such a great feeling. And it's just like, all right, this is awesome. Versus having to grind or whatever the case is. But I also don't want it to be so easy that I just steamroll through everybody, and the first boss just felt like it was a tutorial boss. I mean, the final boss just feels like it's a tutorial boss from the beginning. You know what I mean? So, like, that was one of the things I liked, because whenever you fought Mira in Xenoverse 1, almost every time you fought him until, like, the end, that guy was one tough mofo. And then again, you ended up fighting Beerus and Whis, which till this day for me, that was the hardest fight in not just the Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse game, in most video games I played in a while. Like, that was really, 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 really tough. And then my buddy, and it's funny though, because like my buddy Mike, he had the opposite effect. He was just like, Beerus and Whis, they were tough for me, but Demigra, like, which was the final boss of Xenoverse 1, he's like, man, that was the hardest boss I've ever fought in any video game. And I was like, yeah, he was tough, but he wasn't the hardest one for me. It was Beerus and Whis at the same time. So, very, very interesting of how Xenoverse 1 did it. I feel like they nailed it. But as far as Tenkaichi goes, I do have one last question before we go on over to this next story. Do you think that Xenoverse Tenkaichi 4, despite of how huge the Tenkaichi fan base is, do you think there's a place in today's age for that game? Or do you think, aka an arena fighter? Or do you think that they waited too long?
Arena fighter.
Tenkaichi in current day time?
Yes. In 2023, does Tenkaichi 4 succeed how the 1 through 3 did?
I'm going to say it probably is going to do well, just because it's going to have that fan base. There's a lot of us like you, in our age groups that we still game, we still play, and that we love these games that we're stoked for. So it's kind of like Street Fighter. Like, the fighting genre has its own niche. Like, it's got its group, a huge fan base and everything, of people who just love those types of games. Tenkaichi can definitely fit in there. So if you're a fighter, if you're someone who loves fighting games, someone who loves Dragon Ball, it's pretty much right up your alley. So I feel like this game could definitely go there, especially if it did online PvP.
If it's arena fighter, it's got to have online at this era.
You're saying it's got a 9-ball doesn't mean the developers are thinking that far ahead sometimes. I'm just throwing out there of the possibility, devil's advocate of them saying, we don't need it, So if they do it, I definitely feel like this game would do very well. I'm not going to say it's going to be like a major bomb, like, there's like, oh my god thing, but I definitely feel like it's going to be a good game to where it's like, the fanatics of the fighting world and all will truly love and enjoy it.
Heard that. Are you on the same boat there, 9-ball, or do you have a different opinion?
I kind of have a different opinion in a way, because mine comes down to 2 questions. And this is going to be something that's going to be huge. Mildewey nailed one about the fan base. You're going to need a fan base, but you need to be able to differentiate yourself. Something that makes it your own fighting game. So that's going to be the 2 questions. Can they create something that's different enough that people will go, oh, okay, this is worth going to, and can they keep the fan base, and can they keep it? Another one is, can you keep it steady? I'm looking. I haven't watched them yet, but I just seen that Nerd Slayer posted some more Death of a Game videos, and one of the biggest problems is it's not getting the fan base, it's keeping them. And that's going to be a huge thing for this game. Can they keep their fan base? Or will it just fizzle out? I'm going to have to see based on more. Once I see more and more into it, we'll see I'm going to see how it goes.
I heard that. I'm kind of in the same boat with both of you guys, but I have a slightly different of opinion than both of you guys as well. I do think that the fan base is going to show up for sure. And I think most people are going to buy it, even just for a nostalgia factor. What I think that it can work in this day and age, but I think that how you can make it a mind-blowing experience is where they start the story. Start it at Super. Start at the beginning of Super. You don't have to go through Reddits anymore. That's been told 35,000 times.
Yeah, that's like watching Batman's family get killed. Everybody knows Batman's backstory at this point.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't have to have.
Wait, what? They got killed?
We don't have to have the.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We don't have to have that, and then he goes Super Saiyan. Even though that's an iconic moment.
Wait. What's Super Saiyan?
Like when Krillin gets killed. You know what I mean?
He
like,
knows what he's talking about.
I think that the smart move here would be if the developers start the story at the beginning of Super. Start it at when Beerus first comes, and that's the first threat. Then you start it at maybe a little bit before that, because you don't want to have Beerus be a tutorial boss, because I feel like he's too strong to be a tutorial boss.
No, that's the ultimate tutorial right there. It's like the one that you can't. It's the one that you're supposed to go into thinking you can beat, but you're never.
Well,
supposed
in
to
some
beat
ways,
at all.
that's not actually a bad tutorial boss, because it's gonna be somewhat spoilers. So, if you haven't watched the Dragon Ball, what was the first one where Beerus first arrived?
That's Battle of Gods.
Battle of the Gods. If you watch that, basically he was testing him anyway. He was kind of like doing a tutorial with him anyway, in a way.
Yeah, you're correct, because after that he ended up turning into So when he first arrived, Goku attacked him. Which you know what? You're not wrong, because he did attack him on King Kai's planet, and he got worked in all 3 levels of his Super Saiyan form.
Yeah.
So you know what, that he could be a tutorial boss. That could work. I was thinking that if they did tutorial, what they could do is they could actually have it where Goku is training Oob at the end.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
You know what I mean? Before Beerus even gets there, before you even hear about Beerus, you can have him be training Oob, and then Oob is like learning how to fight and everything like that. And then the story begins with Beerus and Whis coming to Earth, because Beerus is having these dreams of the Ultimate Warrior.
Or you know, it'd be even better.
What's up?
It's Goku training Oob, and your character that you can create in there.
I wonder if they're going to have character creation in this game.
I don't care. I'm just making it better.
But yeah, no, I do wonder if they are going to have some sort of character creation, not for the story, but for like whenever you do online fights. If you can't create your person, just kind of have a Xenoverse style fighting.
It'd be interesting. Cool. It would be interesting. The only one I know that did that, at least off the top of my head right now, is the sword and blade games.
Soul Calibur does it also.
There, that one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't play these games. That's the one I was talking about. Most Soul Calibur.
Oh, okay.
Soul Calibur. Yeah.
They're the ones that like you can take like a format of the character and like you can customize them, make them like your own.
Yeah.
But like you still are kind of using their move sets and everything. But this one would be, kind of the same. But it's like you've got whoever's in the game, you can copy their move sets.
Yeah.
Hell, you can put in a legacy mode where you can Yamcha it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yamcha has some sick wolf combos. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, Yamcha takes a lot of heat for the crater, but
yeah, he was a martial artist. It's just compared to everyone else that came in at the beginning of Z and Beyond.
Here's the funny thing. This is what I find kind of funny is like technically, Yamcha and Krillin are kind of like on the same level at the beginning, but Krillin just keeps going. Yamcha seems to just like
he just stopped. He got
he
scared.
Just stopped. He pretty much stopped. Like, even Krillin's scared, but he's still going at it, folks. Like, he's still like.
Here's one thing I will give though.
Balling.
Here's one thing that I will give though, a little courtesy to Yamcha for. He got stabbed through the freaking chest by Dr. Gero. And was alive. He was slowly dying when that happened. Krillin, okay. I don't think has experience. Like when Krillin got shot by Frieza or killed by Frieza, he just exploded. Like he died. He didn't have to deal with that whole suffering of a hand through your chest and crap like that.
No, he got horned through the chest.
Yeah, that.
Frieza blew him up. Yeah, no, he got horned through the chest.
No,
then healed him, and then that was when Frieza was in his second form.
I do remember the second form, but that wasn't Piccolo. No, Piccolo. No, you're right. You're right. Piccolo took on. Yeah, Piccolo took on his second form. Frieza's second form was giving him that.
The reason I also remember that is because DBZ and Bridge has a funny thing with that. Krillin gets stabbed, and Joe on telling him, "Krillin, stop it! You're powering him up." And every time it just shanks him, they just like the 1-up level from Mario.
Wow.
Yeah, because he starts singing. Frieza before he goes up. He's like, "Is he singing?"
Gotcha. Yeah. No. I was about to say. Now that I said it out loud. Yeah, because Piccolo wasn't there yet because he hasn't fused with Nami yet, and then or Nail, and then when he came over, he fused with Nail, and then he took on Frieza's second form. But when Frieza went to his third form, that's when Piccolo got effed up. So yes, you're correct.
Yeah, and then then they went to the third form. Then Goku shows up. Frieza then blows up Krillin, and then Goku snaps.
Yes. Yeah.
So Krillin definitely knows it. Now, granted, you could definitely say it happened much later, so Krillin probably didn't have that trauma, but I'm pretty sure, regardless of, Krillin has seen some stuff and all, and dealt with people that just really just put Yamcha a bit out, and he's still stuck with it,
Mm-hmm.
So, not saying Yamcha's thought process is not valid and all. I'm just saying Yamcha just really fell off,
Oh yeah.
I mean, no offense, no offense when the androids show up and he's first kill. It's come on, dude. Not even fight, just lands down, goes to help someone, shanks in the chest. It's dude.
Yeah. Luckily he lived, but it was
yeah.
I will say though, that was one thing that I always respected Krillin for. He just kept on training. Yamcha just switched to baseball.
Yeah,
it was just one of those things where it's just yep, fighting is not for me anymore. I quit. And actually, you know what it was? This was the final nail in the coffin. When he tried to train inside the hyperbolic time chamber thing that Bulma made for Vegeta and almost died, he's just that. I think I specifically remember him in an episode he almost died because the gravity was plus 100 or 1,000 or something like that, and he couldn't get up. And then when he finally got the button, he's walking away from the scene. He's yes, fighting's not for me anymore because he was still jealous and bitter that Bulma chose Vegeta over him.
He also kind of cheated on Bulma, so not gonna.
Yamcha did. Gotcha. I was about to say.
I mean, to be honest, there's a whole backstory and everything with that, which we're getting sidetracked on. But yeah, no. I think it would be good if they did something with customer character creation, maybe inside the inside the online play aspect. But I definitely would like it if they gave you. Because I know Sword Art Online did that. You create your character, it still followed their line, which was fine.
Yeah.
Just don't do any of that White Knight crap that they did.
Yeah, White Knight Chronicles, that pissed me off.
Oh, yeah. No. Create a character, and then it's subjugated to a side character. I stopped the game, put it into a case, and returned it back in.
Absolutely.
I said, nope.
You did the world of justice, sir.
Everyone's like, oh, but it's such a good... I'm like, no. The fact that you offer me character creation and I can't use that is utter... trash.
Yeah.
Your character is not better than mine, sir.
And one last thing I'll say before we go on to story number 2 is I do think that would be kind of cool if this Tenkaichi News, when the game comes out, if they offer a collection. So you get Xenoverse, you get Tenkaichi 1 through 3 as well as 4. You know what I mean? So that way, if you haven't played the other ones but want to get caught up since it has been 15, 16 years, you're able to do so. And then they can
do that.
Yeah, and then you
can
can
do
start at Tenkaichi 4 that would even make more sense as to why you start at Super versus going all the way back to Raditz.
Yeah.
I could definitely see them doing that. Like you have to. It depends on the pricing too. But I mean, we have been kind of seeing them do that with other games. Like, I'm hoping this is what it means. But like, on Nintendo Switch, they just re-put out the Metroid Primes 1 and 2 onto Switch, which I'm hoping means we might be getting something on the new Metroid Prime coming soon. Hint, hint. We think what's nuts? What Nintendo? But I know several other games have done that too in the past, where they release prior versions or on sale to get ready for the new one. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Story number 2. This one's going to be kind of a quick one here. Hogwarts Legacy delayed for last gen. Mariella Moon from Engadget says this in the article. Hogwarts Legacy won't be making its way to PS4 and Xbox One until May 5th, so you have to wait 2 more months of waiting to do it if you have an older console. That is, if Warner Brother Games and Avalanche Software don't push back its release date yet again. They had postponed the game's launch several times over the past few years, and they're supposed to release it for all the consoles on February 10th. Less than a couple months before that, though, they revealed that Hogwarts Legacy will only be available on PS5, Xbox Series X, S, and PC in February, while PS4 and Xbox One are getting in on April 4th. Hogwarts Legacy is an action role-playing game with an open world that you can explore and a character builder that you can choose your own name, gender, voice, and appearance. It takes place within Harry Potter's universe you're familiar with, but way before the boy who lived was born. So there you go. So if you guys still have your last gen consoles and are wanting to play Hogwarts Legacy, you have to wait even longer. So it's either get a PS5 or Xbox Series X, S, and start playing it now, or wait another 2 months and be able to play it then. And
how available are PlayStation 5? I heard somebody was telling me that they're seeing them in stores and stuff now.
Yep, you're able to walk inside the stores now and start buying them.
So TBS this, my brother, actually, he's got a 5 now. He actually went over to Best Buy and got he got the God of War package deal one.
Yeah, I'm looking at it myself.
Listen to this. It was cheaper than just buying the PlayStation 5 itself.
Yeah. I walked in.
If you guys are looking for some deals on a PlayStation 5, want a little bit extra saving on that, check out the bundle packs, because a lot of times apparently those are a bit cheaper right now for some reason.
I'm looking at it on Amazon right now. It's like $5.59 for the
bundle.
Yeah, with the disc version.
Yeah, but that makes sense though, because PlayStation's $4.99, so $500, and then the game itself is $70, but you're technically saving $10. So yeah, that's not really too far off. That's about not how much it normally is. But I was inside of a Walmart the other day when I was getting stuff for our other business, and saw that there's a PS5 God of War version actually just sitting inside the cases. There's only one left, but the fact that I was there and could have bought it right then and there if I wanted to, that was pretty awesome. So PlayStation 5 availability is Xbox had their availability issue resolved at some point last year. PS5 is just now getting around to the point where they had that availability, and PS5 sales are actually extremely good right now. And they're probably going to be even better when Spider-Man 2 drops. So, there you have it. Story number 3, emotional damage. Soren Petchu from Game Rant says...
I didn't hear the shoe slap.
Sony has recently patented a system that aims to analyze a player's emotional state while playing games, with the purpose of seamlessly adjusting the virtual environment based on the player's emotional response. All this is done in order to improve the immersive experience of a game. The emotional state of a player can have a significant impact on their immersion in a video game. For example, it may be challenging for a player to focus on a video game and become fully involved in the virtual environment if they are feeling worried or stressed. If someone is playing a story-driven game while being sad or depressed, they may be more likely to empathize with the character's emotional struggles, which results in a higher level of immersion. And on the other hand, if a gamer is playing a horror game while feeling afraid, they may perceive the game world as a more dangerous and threatening, again increasing the level of immersiveness. What are your thoughts about this patent that PlayStation has for emotional support, I guess you could say, for emotional
I
immersion.
I don't want it. Like, I'm just getting this image in his head. Like, you playing, like, let's say you're playing Final Fantasy 16. It's getting intense. And then your game starts talking to you. It seems you seem to be pretty stressed over there. Do we need to do something about the boss?
No.
No, he's fine. He's fine. Are you sure? Your body temperature is rising, and you seem to be frustrated. You just died again.
You just died again.
No. I want them to have this, and I want Ohio to beta test it while playing Smite.
Oh my! Oh, that would be fun to watch.
Oh my gosh! No,
that
man.
Is what I
my
want.
God, that would be
if
hilarious.
You all don't know, like if you haven't, I don't think Ohio's on anywhere Smite streams when we were originally doing and all, but y'all heard how frustrated we got towards the end of it with everything with the medals and all. Ohio goes off, and I would love to see this thing like just flipping like, oh my God, like you seem to be getting angry, like your heart is
like,
heart rate's elevated. I know.
But it's like, kids, cover your ears. It's about to get ugly.
Oh, it got super ugly, but it was just. I just think that like that is what I'm seeing when they're talking about this whole like emotional support thing. Is people playing a lot of these MOBAs and stuff and everything on these systems and just raging. Like that's where I feel like this is really coming into effect on is all of that online play capability and just dealing with people and trolls and everything like that. Like that's where this is going to get interesting to see how it reacts to all of that affecting. And like I want to know, like, is it just reading your emotional response? Is it reading what game you're playing? Like what aspect of the game you're in? Like I just kind of want these details because now I'm curious about how they're looking to apply this besides just the fact of like you're getting angry. It's like no.
My God.
Well, I wonder
in this Fortnite.
But here's the thing, though. I wonder. I don't even know. I don't even think it would be something like that. I think it would be interesting if it's something that you're playing and they see like it's sensing like again how your emotional state is, and if they want to try to control it, they might not even control it by like words on the screen or anything like that. They might control it by the music that's being played. Because again, if it's something that's supposed to be inspirational, then they'll probably be playing that inspiration music in the background. If it's supposed to be sad Final Fantasy X type of music in the background. If it's supposed to be angry, you have like the fast little boom. You have the small like the horror sounds. Like I think that's probably the number one way they're kind of going to go about it, and it might adjust depending on who's playing.
What I'm thinking also is it might adjust difficulty too. Being serious here. Think about it. If you're breezing, let's say you're playing, again 16. The computer notices that you're not stressed, you're breezing through it. It may amp up the difficulty.
Yeah.
And go, okay, there you go, and it make it a lot harder for you. Or you might be playing, let's say, Dead Space Remake, and the same thing's happening. It may make the next set of necromorphs a lot more harder. And number two, if you have a game like, let's say, Left 4 Dead or something with the Director engine, which could spawn enemies out of almost anywhere. Think about it. And the AI is like Control AI. I don't know if you ever played Control, but the AI on the game Control is very aggressive. So if you start backing off, they immediately move up and try to blitz you. But if it's controlling like your emotional state and they noticing that, okay, he's breathing through and it ups the difficulty, it may be able to use that in order to gather data, in order to spawn enemies from different areas to throw you off your A game, which would be kind of cool.
Interesting. Okay. So so we'll have to wait and see if that patent goes through and see exactly how they're going to be tackling that.
I swear to God, if it just talks to him, I'd be pissed off.
Story number 4 on here: Final Fantasy 16 unexpected engine. So Dominic Bosnak from Game Rant says this in the article.
Sorry, Dominic.
Final Fantasy 16 will mark a technological departure for Square Enix, with its team recently revealing that they made an unexpected engine choice early on in the game's development. This is a bit of an insight into the upcoming title arrived as part of Square Enix's latest marketing push that saw some of its key officials reveal plenty of new information about their next AAA RPG, including the fact that Final Fantasy 16 cutscenes are longer than the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. When it comes to the Final Fantasy series, Square Enix hasn't been overly committed to a particular engine in recent history. Over the last 10 years, the company released a Crystal Tools engine-powered Final Fantasy 14, as well as Final Fantasy 15, which leveraged the in-house Luminous engine later used in Forspoken, and 2 Unreal Engine 4 games in the form of Final Fantasy 7 Remake and remaster of Crisis Core Final Fantasy 7. So I'm not seeing here where the actual engine itself is. It's saying on here that they had the Crystal Light engine, which was for Final Fantasy 14 and 15, and then they used Unreal Engine 4 for Final Fantasy 7 Remake and the remaster of Crisis Core. So that's all cool stuff. But I'm very curious to see what engine they're officially using for Final Fantasy 16, because this is the first time that we're having a Final Fantasy be strictly an action style game.
Oh no, it's a movie.
Yeah, even for Final Fantasy 7 Remake, as much as I love that game, it's not exactly like pure action. It's very action-y, but there's still ATB and everything like that. There's still that's pretty much the best thing I can say. There still is that turn-based element to a portion of it. There is a dodging in Final Fantasy VII Remake, but honestly, the dodging doesn't really do anything. The better method is blocking. Dodging is just more or less just kind of helping you get from one place to the other a little quicker. So I'm very curious to see exactly how they're going to do this, especially knowing the knowledge that the game has taken very huge inspirations from God of War Ragnarok, and the gameplay director of it was the person that made Devil May Cry.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Because I haven't played much of it. But what about 15s? Were they more ATB or action oriented for 15? So
that was action oriented, but it was weird. It was it was definitely a little bit weird. I do want to say, because 13 had a little ATB as well. You had to wait.
Oh, 13 was definitely ATB.
Yeah, that was ATB as well, but 15 though, I feel like was some. Now it's been a while since I played the base story of 15, but I'm pretty sure whenever we played Comrades together, that was more or less the actual gameplay of 15 canon story. So that one is more actiony. But this one, it feels like it's going to be like action-y. Like this one's going to be super action.
I also have a problem.
What's up?
And it's not the game, it's the trail. It's the movie time. They're saying it's longer than the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. Do you know how long the Lord of the Rings trilogy is?
That's roughly about 12 hours?
That's about 10 years.
Well, I mean, they didn't specify, but I'm pretty sure they're talking about the movies together, which is 12 hours because each one is 3 hours long. So, which for a video game, that's not that long.
You're not even counting The Hobbit, are you?
Well, even if I count The Hobbit, which was also 3.
No, are you counting the? Yeah, so that one was bumped into 3. Like I'm also thinking of the old animated Hobbit, which was like almost like 4.5, 5 hours long.
Yeah, so even if we take the Hobbit movies and the Lord of the Ring movies and combine them together of what we know.
Let me get an exact estimate real quick.
I was about to say that would roughly be about 24 to maybe 30 hours, which again for a video game that would be a beefy amount. Like well, I can't even say beefy. That'd be a good amount.
That's a beefy amount
for a video game. Not really. Like that's a 35 hours for a video game is what I would say would be a beefy game.
Yeah, but not 35 hours of movie or cutscenes. Some games don't even...
You are correct. You are correct.
Yeah, that's not talking about the cutscene. I'm not talking about the I'm not talking about the game. No, the game is generally, yeah, an RPG, yeah, it's generally about 40 plus hours.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of cutscenes.
So are you thinking that we're going to have a Tales of Arise and Persona 5 Golden situation on our hands, where the game itself is going to be like 100+ hours?
It could be. I mean, the only thing is, I just hope the story's good enough to back it up. I mean, it looks interesting, but I mean, it looks really good. The story. I'm not gonna say the story looks bad. I'm not saying that at all. It's just, that's gonna be a lot of sitting.
I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. Now, again, this is also coming from someone that has grown to appreciate the Final Fantasy XIV story halfway through Realm Reborn. Because beforehand, I didn't care about the Realm Reborn story. I just wanted to play in the world and ride chocobos. That's all I really wanted to do at first. But then, as I started getting more connected with these characters and seeing where the story was taking me, the Final Fantasy story in an MMO was becoming really, really, really cool to me. And then when it got to Heaven's Word, that was even better. The Heaven's Word is my favorite one so far that I came across, with all the dragons and Sir Emmerich and all that. Like, that was so cool. So with that, I have faith that them making a numbered Final Fantasy, I think that, and then with the team that's making it, I think it's going to be, and also hearing the premise of it, it sounds like it's going to be really cool. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see.
And just as long as they don't, and my question is, how long is each movie? I mean, I know they have some, but you don't want to put like, you're going to play a game, you're like, yeah, I'm playing Final Fantasy, and it gets through with a boss, and then you're sitting there for like 30 minutes to an hour watching a
cutscene.
Yeah. I sure wish I remember, I thought I was playing a video game. What happened?
Exactly.
That old meme, "Are you winning, son?" No, Dad, I'm just watching.
So yeah, so we're not that far off from the release date of that. We got about another 4 months.
This come out in June.
Yeah, June. We got another 3 months. 3 months before 16 officially graces our consoles and our lives. Let's go.
I'm buying that day one, by the way.
I already pre-ordered it. It's on the way to my house right now. Oh. Demon Slayer, not movie. That is story number 5. Yes, we're getting to some anime stuff, and I have some personal comments on this because I went to go see that Demon Slayer movie. So that's the reason why I called it Demon Slayer, not movie. Here we go. Andrea Sharon from IGN says this in the article. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba to the Swordsmith Village drew series fans in the United States and Canada to theaters over a weekend, racking in a solid $10 million from its debut in the United States and Canada, according to the numbers reported by IGN from ComScore. Despite the showing, however, not everyone walked away thrilled. The last Demon Slayer movie only made half of what the last feature film, Mugen Train, made with $21 million opening weekend in 2021. The premiere put To the Swordsmith Village in 4th place at the box office, showing alongside films like Creed 3 and Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear.
Don't get me started on that one.
As pointed out by the Sportskeeda, Demon Slayer's new movie debut may make for a more divisive entry to the series too. Across Twitter and Reddit, some fans raised issue with how much the animated film pulls from the original series. Though some complaints noted they expected to a degree a retelling, it seemed fans believed the movie would offer more from the next Demon Slayer arc. While the movie was advertised a recap of Demon Slayer's Entertainment District arc, episodes 10 and 11 with new footage from season 3, complaints seemed focused on how little there was of the next saga. The upcoming 3rd season featuring Swordsmith Village arc only to show off its first episode of Tanjiro's next adventure, catching heat from the fans who called it a cash grab and a scam. This is a tweet that I pulled from Diggs the Prophecy on Twitter. Bruh, it's sad that when MFs just do crap as a cash grab. That's exactly what this new Demon Slayer movie is. Basically, the quote-unquote movie is a reshowing of episode 10 and 11 of season 2. Then you get a peek of the first episode of the new season. Don't waste your time with this. Save your money. And I will reiterate that. That's exactly what happened. So, my issue when it comes down to some anime movies, not every anime movie does this. In fact, Demon Slayer, anyone that the creators of that, make sure you guys are taking notes from Sword Art Online because they're doing it right. What the Mugen Train did, the problem that I had with Mugen Train, the movie itself was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. The problem that I had is that when they brought season 2, they didn't. What they did is that they just took like sections of Mugen Train, copied it, and pasted it for that week's episode. And they did that for several weeks until they were fully. So probably about for like 7-8 weeks, you were just watching parts of the movie, and they were giving it to you as episodes when season 2 was first coming out. Made zero sense because we already seen the movie beforehand. And on top of that, it's not like that they didn't put the movie, because some people were like, well, maybe because there's some very significant stuff that happens in the movie that you need to know when you're going inside season 2, and that is very true. But they also put the movie on Crunchyroll. So why are you giving me the full movie on one Saturday, but then as quote unquote season 2, you're giving me the first part of the movie, then the next part of the movie at the following Saturday, then the next part of the movie the following Saturday? That was the issue that I had with Mugen Train, which was the first movie, and that's not even an issue with Mugen Train. That was how the Demon Slayer organization had treated season 2 starting off. It didn't actually start getting good until they got to the entertainment district, which is with the Shinobi Hashira, which has to do with sound and stuff, which is really cool. Fast forwarding until the movie from this weekend, literally, like, I went in there and I was expecting like a small little recap because it's into the Swordsmith Village, so I'm expecting to see stuff that I was not going to see before. But I know that for some people that this is their first entry to it, which I don't know you would jump into this entry right now, but if this is your entry to it, I can understand them doing like a small little recap to remind you of what had happened a year ago or whatever. But the problem is that they literally took copies of episode 10 and episode 11 verbatim from the end of season 2, pasted that as 2/3 of this movie, and then just revealed to me episode 1 of season 3. And that made the hour and 40 minutes of the quote unquote movie. That's not how you do it. That is absolute. And then you had the audacity to charge $15+ for that. Like
I lost the cocaine bear.
That is ridiculous. That is literally the definition of a cash grab. And it is, as a Demon Slayer fan, it makes me question on the next Demon Slayer movie if I even want to waste my money trying to watch it. Because just like if you're like Mugen Train, that one, again, the movie was fantastic, and I don't regret spending my money on Mugen Train. I have my issues on how the company was just sprinkling that as season 2 until season 2 really got going. But for this movie, this was not a movie. And what makes matters even worse, in the trailers, they were showing images that made me believe it was a movie because of stuff that I've never seen before. It was showing 2 of the Hashiras like fighting off certain things inside what I thought was going to be the movie, only to turn out that was just like, you know how animes have the ending credits and there's like ending animations as they're doing all that stuff?
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was that. It wasn't any new fighting images like they were. It was literally like a bait and switch scenario, because I thought we were going to see some of those fight scenes to fruition, and that's not what it was. They just took the ending credit of what's going to be the ending credits of season 3. They took the ending credit of that, threw it inside the trailer, and made it look like that we were in. And a couple things from episode 1 of season 3, a couple things showed that off as like a little 1 minute, 2 minute trailer. And I was like, yep, movie's coming soon. Making all of us think it's going to be a movie. I am very pissed about the way that company decided to handle that. Demon Slayer is a fantastic series. Don't throw crap on its name like that, though. Don't do that. Again, Sword Art Online, they did it right. You know what I mean? Even My Hero Academia, they did it right. You better take that crap back there, Mildewy Care. I see you trying to flick it. Yeah, no, like that has to be one of the most BS's things I've ever seen an anime company do. Shame on you.
I feel like you're gonna need one of them Sony emotional response things
I do.
right now.
You're
So
getting very escalated, sir.
yeah.
You recommend taking 5 seconds and deep breathe to relax. Allow us to play some calming music.
but before, because I'm assuming here that nobody else has seen the Demon Slayer movie, correct?
I'm not even really watched Demon Slayer. I'm gonna be.
Same.
My niece is getting mad at me. I think one of them's gonna be watching it. She's talking about she's gonna come by when next time she come by. We're gonna watch that and bonking those stray dogs.
Bungo Stray Dogs, yeah.
Gonna put you straight in the chair and say, "Yeah,
Yeah.
watch it with me, Uncle
Oh, she's
Uncle
mad.
Nineball."
I was supposed to watch Jujutsu Kaisen. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
There's a lot that I need to watch, but I find that sometimes I get distracted by what I do truly like, and it's like sometimes I just need those moments of like I just want to watch something that I truly like and just enjoy. I'm pretty sure I would love Jujutsu no Kaisen and Demon Slayer. I just for some reason and Malachi knows this feeling very well. Just gotta get in the mood for it,
absolutely. Preaching to the choir when he's talking about having to be in the mood for it. Preaches to the choir, my guy. And then the last one, a little bit of a Crunchyroll update here for some Crunchyroll Awards. They have been announced. The Anime of the Year has been announced. Now this one, I apologize in advance of me butchering your name, but Lavana Jan Chester Lunt from Game Rant says this in the article. Crunchyroll's 7th Anime Award winners were announced on March 4th via 2023 via live stream hosted by Sally Amaki and John Kabira, with a star-studded list of presenters such as Finn Wolfhard, Hunter Schafer, Robert Rodriguez, Zelina Vega, and more, dishing out the prizes. The anime nominees were previously chosen by a panel of more than 50 qualified judges, which was then narrowed down from 19 to 26 in January 2023 by the fandom's voting prowess. Crunchyroll has slimmed down its selection for its 7th Anime Awards and has removed several categories from its lineup, including Best Couple, Boy-Girl Fight Scene, Antagonist, and Protagonist, while adding a few new features to its folds. So here's what we have here. I have the list in front of me. And
I'm looking at it as well.
The first one we have Best Anime on Crunchyroll. The winner of that, the candidates for that was Call the Night, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Lyricist Recoil, My Dress Up Darling, Spy Family, Yay Boy Kongming, and the winner of that was Spy Family, rightfully so. I can't. Best Anime on Crunchyroll. I don't think Call of the Night is on Crunchyroll. It's on HiDive, but I don't think it's on Crunchyroll. But and I don't know. I don't think Edge Runners is on Crunchyroll either, because I know that.
No, I thought that was on. I thought that was on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. So I'm wondering, but regardless, Spy Family won it. I think that they deserve it. It warms my heart to see My Dress Up Darling up there. It's because again, I think that's a great anime. And I'm very glad that a lot of people are loving it the way that I do. Licorice Recoil, I'm actually watching that as we speak. I'm on like episode 3 or 4.
Yeah, Cyberpunk Edge Runners is not on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, no, it's
I
not.
didn't think so.
It's on Netflix.
So that tells me that Call of the Night, because that's only on HiDive, which I remember that because I watched the first episode of that and it's weird. I'm going to power through it eventually, but the English voice acting for that one threw me off. And I normally I'm an advocate for dubs, but that one was it felt pretty off. But yeah,
I have to watch this Lyricus Recoil. I think I've seen it. I just never.
Yeah.
It's on my list. I just.
Yeah. I'm right there too. Like Licorice Recoil, I'm not really like I always see it and I always hear people talking about it, and I did see one small little. I don't want to say spoiler because I still don't know initially what happened, but I did see an emotional moment that happened there. And I was like, maybe this does have some weight to it. But nonetheless, I will say Spy Family winning anime of the grand winner for this best anime series. I'm very happy about that. Best continuing series. We have Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Entertainment Arc, District Arc, Kaguya-sama, Love is War, ultra romantic. JoJo Bizarre Adventure, Stone Ocean, Made in Abyss, The Golden City of the Scorching Sun, and One Piece. One Piece ended up winning that one. I feel like they just winning that one just because it's been over 1,000+ episodes.
Somebody's
still going.
I
don't know if it's even going to end. You know how it's going to end? Luffy ends up on a scaffolding dressed up as Gold Roger, and now he just comes full circle somehow. Don't ask me how or why. You know?
The One Piece.
Yeah, but I mean, Attack on Titan has been a phenomenal series, so I'm glad about that. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, same thing, phenomenal series. But I'm glad they didn't win it because they need to humble themselves after the crap they pulled over this weekend.
What happened with that?
Kaguya Love is War. That one actually ended last year. That one ended last year, and that I'm glad it gave me closure on how they finished it, and I'm very glad of how they finished it. And then everything else I haven't heard of besides JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I just don't care to watch that show. I just absolutely don't care to watch it.
I've heard the only reason why I know it because I watched Death Battle, and he was on like a couple Death Battles. I don't know what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is.
I just know about it from some friends who really love it and all. It's some sort of like fighting style, like it's weird. It's got its own unique set and people who love it and all, and if you like it, So, I've also heard references to it a lot here and there, so it's nothing to apparently sneeze at in terms of popularity. Apparently,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Best original anime. So we have Birdie Wing, Golf Girl Story, Healer Girl, Licorice Recoil, The Orbital Children, Vampire in the Garden, and Yurei Deco. And Licorice Recoil won the best original anime. I'm definitely happy about that. I am kind of curious though. I want to know what the definition on that. So to qualify for the best original anime award, a successful show cannot have corresponding light novel, manga, or video game to fall back on. Okay, that makes more sense. Because I was about to say, I'm wondering why My Dress Up Darling's not up here, but because it does have a successful light.
Vampire in the Garden is not again on Crunchyroll.
Yeah,
So
I think it's just. I think these are just.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah,
I think they're just doing anime in general.
In general, yeah.
Okay.
And it's just Crunchyroll hosting it.
Yeah, that's.
Because I've been reading through some of these, and I see some of these that are not on there. So I feel like they're taking all of the top animes, regardless of where they're from.
Yeah,
yeah. I had started watching that not a little while back. I tried to watch it.
Yeah. I need to watch Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Yeah,
I haven't finished.
I've heard it. The only ones I've heard of this one was Healer Girl and Licorice Recoil. So it makes me a little happy that the show that I'm watching right now is won Best Original Anime. Best Anime Music. We have Chicka Chicka Ban Ban from Queendom. Ya Boy Kongming, that's the anime. Mixed Nuts Official Hig Densden by Spy Family. Naked Hero from Rankings of the Kings. The Rumbling from Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2. This Fire by Cyberpunk Edge Runners. And Zank Yo Sanka from Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. I actually like Mixed Nuts from Spy Family. Because that's insane.
I have not heard none of these. Like, I've heard... The only way I know Attack on Titan is because I know their theme song is actually not... It's probably one of the more liked parts to me. Like, anybody knows I'm not a huge Attack on Titan fan. Well, I'm not really Attack on Titan fan at all, but I do like the opening theme was pretty good. It was good enough to get an adaptation by a couple of my bands that made it sound really good. One of which was Epica that did like an entire CD based off their entire all the opening and closing themes, which if you can get it. Epica did a fantastic job and love for the series.
So on that one, the best opening / anime sequence, it is, as Nineball was just kind of discussing just now, it is Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2. The song that you were talking about though specifically is actually from Season 1. This is actually
Crimson Bow and Arrow.
Yeah. This one's actually a different one. So, but
okay,
still like Attack on Titan has always had great opening music. So it's just one of those things. Now Mixed Nuts from that one's a fun one to me. Like that's the second
I'll
part.
have to listen to that. I'll probably listen to these off stream.
Yeah, that was a fun one to me. I was definitely enjoying that, and then seeing some of the animations that they have for the opening with Lloyd and Anya and Yor. I was like, you know what, this makes me feel good. So definitely make sure you guys checking that out. But congratulations to Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2. Coming on up. Oh. So that was that, and then I guess it's also best anime. Okay, so just tagged both of them. So best opening sequence and best anime music was Attack on Titan, which again, like there's the other stuff was Chicka Chicka Bon Bon, comedy which is also Spy Family. I think that's the first part. My nonfiction, which was Kaguya Love is War, and that's I love you, Mister, I miss her. Genesis. One Piece, the film Red, that's that movie. And then Shall We Dance by Shadow House, second season. It's just showing a lot of Attack on Titan at the moment. What's this? Best score, that's the same thing. So kind of going back to it, Cyberpunk's Edge Runners, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Made in the Abyss, Spy Family, and your boy Kongming. On here, best ending sequence. The people that we have in this one was... Akuma no Ko, which is Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2. Comedy, Spy Family. My Heart Has Surrendered, Kaguya Love is War. Koi no Yuki, My Dress Up Darling. Kasha Berry Biyori, that's Komi Can't Communicate Season 2, or second part of Season 1. And then Yofu Kashi no Uta, which is called The Night. Yes, so that one, Spy Family won the best ending sequence, and I'm glad they did because they had some good music there too as well, and the way that they kind of wrapped it up too as well. I liked it. Best anime genre specific. So we have Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, JoJo Bizarre Adventure in a Stone Ocean, Licorice Recoil, Spy Family, and then Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer ended up winning this one. So congratulations, Demon Slayer, for that.
I gotta listen to... I still gotta watch that.
Best comedy, we have Kaguya Love is War, Kotoro Lives Alone, My Dress Up Darling, Uncle from Another World, Your Boy Kongming, and Spy Family. Spy Family won this one. I do want to give it... Well, first and foremost, Spy Family has quite a few comedic moments where I literally was laughing out loud. There's other animes that's listed here that I recognize the funniness on some of their jokes that they had, but it was just like you're trying to be funny versus just naturally being funny. There's moments where Spy Family had that too, but they were actually funny, especially the way that Anya would be cracking me up, dude. She is so funny.
Probably like the best. Recently, Anya's probably one of my favorite anime characters.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
She's awesome. She is absolutely awesome.
She just wants that perfect family, and she doesn't care that, her adopted father is pretty much like, an MI6 agent, her mom's like, top assassin. Like, she doesn't care. She's like, I'm just getting a family.
Exactly.
Just is so happy about it, and just does anything and everything to help it, and makes it seem just like she's just acting like a normal kid when she's really reading their minds. Like, it's just so perfect. Like, Spy Time's Family, guys, is a really, really good one to get into and watch. So good.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Absolutely. And I do want to give a little special shout out too for My Dress Up Darling, because same thing. There was some things that was happening in My Dress Up Darling that I legitimately was like cracking up about, because like there's
the one scene that really cracks me up with that one is when she first introduces him to it, and like he wants the outfit, and he has to play the game to figure out and see it in all aspects. Old man comes in and realizes what type of game he's playing, because the guy's not even paying attention to what type of game it is. He's just more interested in the outfits the characters are wearing, and that's it. He doesn't care about it. Like, that's it. Just that whole scene is just enough to me.
Yeah. He's literally being the innocent card here. No, yeah, you're good. Because there's one other, and I'll stop it after this because I don't want to give too much away. But there was like in the beginning, there's an area where like Marine is looking for Gojo, and so like he's hiding from her. He's actively hiding from her, and he's like literally out there like by like a gate, like kneeled down. It's like, all right, well, maybe she's at the bus station now, and he's just like, I'm sorry, Maureen, I wanted, like, he says it out loud, and she just like, if you're apologizing to me, like, say it to, like, don't avoid me then. He's like, you found me, how'd you see me? She's just like, seriously, you're in the middle of the street, I use my eyes. Like, like just small little, like, quips like that had me cracking up, and I was just like, yeah, they generally had me laughing in this anime. So definitely some shout outs and honorable mentions I wanted to throw out there for that. So best comedy, Spy Family, you definitely deserve it. But Kaguya Love is Wars, a special shout out, and then My Dress Up Darling, special shout out as well. Best drama, we have 8686, which is the second part. Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Dance Dance Densua, Kotoro Lives Alone, Made in Abyss, and Attack on Titan Season Part 2. This one, Attack on Titan 1, AOT. Lego. Best Fantasy, we have...
I wonder why.
Best Fantasy, we have Made in Abyss, Mushoku Tensei, The Jobless Reincarnations, Season 1, Part 2, Overlord 4, Rankings of a King, Core 2, The Case Study of the Vanitas, Core 2, and then Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. This one, Demon Slayer. Mm-hmm. Best Romance, we have Call the Night, Komi Can't Communicate, Love After World Domination, My Dress Up Darling, Shikamori's Not Just a Cutie, Kaguya Love is War. This one, Kaguya Love is War, has done it, and I think there's one core reason why I think it's the best romance. They
because
ended.
Its name is ultra romantic.
No, it's because they ended the series in a tasteful way that I think is going to.
My niece was watching this. I didn't know what it was called though. I remember Mia was watching it. I was like, "What the heck are you watching?"
I'll have to give it a peek then.
Yeah, it's actually really good. But like they did it in a tasteful way. Like in Komi Can't Communicate. I mean, they do the very this is not really a spoiler because this happens in almost every anime. But in Komi Can't Communicate and even My Dress Up Darling, that like they have the whole little. You can tell that they like each other, but they don't know that they like it. They're thinking too highly of the other person to be like, hey, yeah, they can't be into someone like me. And so that's what Komi Can't Communicate's going into, and My Dress Up Darling is doing right now. Love After World Domination started strong, and then halfway through just got kind of annoying. And then Shikamori's Not Just a Cutie. They're already together, and that one I had really high on my list because I like when My Dress Up Darling was done with the animation. The trailers of Shikamori's Not Just a Cutie gave me My Dress Up Darling vibes, so I was very, very excited for this anime. And it came out, I watched the whole thing, and it was a dud to me. It really wasn't like there's maybe one or two things where I was just like, "Yo, this is kind of tugging at the emotional heartstrings a little bit," but ultimately, it did not live up to that expectation that I set for it. So, congratulations, Kaguya Love is War. Best Shoujo. Oh, wait. Best film. Here we go. Best film, we have Bubble, Dragon Ball Super Superhero. And so when they mean that, this is talking about movie. So Bubble, Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Inu-Oh, Jujutsu Kaisen 0, One Piece Film Red, The Deer King. This is probably one of the few times where I actually am going to disagree with this option. It's Jujutsu Kaisen 0.
Which one do you think won?
I think Dragon Ball Superhero should have won. And here's one of the core reasons why. Like literally, me and like we got a squad together to go watch this movie. Not expecting it to be anything spectacular. To be honest with you, we thought this movie was going to be extremely mediocre. We just wanted to go out there a night with the boys and then have something to eat. That's all we did. This movie surprised the absolute crap out of us, and it floored us, and it showed us stuff that we were not expecting. And I even made like a little short Instagram video of our reactions afterwards because we were all in so much shock of how great this movie was. We had zero expectations that this was going to be a good movie. Literally zero expectations.
You were so shocked.
Yeah, and then, but it was one of those things where it wasn't like we were so shocked, and it was like it had good stuff. Like it wasn't just because we were just thrown off guard. It was a good story. It was very interesting how they're doing the X to Y to Z. So I was just like, okay, cool. Jujutsu Kaisen, don't get me wrong. Really good, great movie as well. And I was expecting that to be great as well. But if I had to compare the two, man, Super just, they delivered, and they delivered so hard. I was not expecting that to be as good of a movie as it was. And it ended up being, between this list, I think Dragon Ball Super should have won this one.
Yeah, the only one I watched was Bubble.
I haven't seen that, but I heard good things about that.
The kids made me watch it.
Did you enjoy it? Or
They tied me to a chair.
So no. No, he did not.
It wasn't bad.
So next up, we have Best Director. So on here, we have Hiroku Imaishi for Cyberpunk Edge Runners. We have
That's Hiroyuki.
Kazuhiro Furuhashi for Spy Family. Shingo Arachi for Licorice Recoil. Yosuke Hata from Ranking of the Kings. And Yutiro Hayashi for Attack on Titan Final Season. On this one, Demon Slayer Haro Sotozaki had won. I didn't say that name. How come he's up here? Oh well.
They probably didn't include it in there because they just put the winner up top and then the rest are down below.
I guess so. Best Animation. We have, I'll just say it, it's Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, but then they also have other things that fall into place, like Akabi's Sailor Uniform. Oh, you know what? I've seen this one. It's pronounced Akabi. So, Akabi's Sailor Uniform, Attack on Titan, Final Season Part 2, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Rankings of Kings, Core 2, and Spy Family. So, shout-outs there. Best Voice Actors. We have Yuki...
This is Japanese, by the way.
Exactly. Yep. Good shout out. So on here we have Atsumi Tanazaki for Anya Forger from Spy Family. Oh man. Okay, that's who that is. Okay, cool. Chika Anzai from Chisato Nishiki from Licorice Recoil. Faruz Ai Jolin Kujo from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Masaki Kuno, Fuputa, and Irumiyu made it in Abyss. Natsuki Hanai and who's Tanjiro Kamado from Demon Slayer, and then Yuki Kaji from which is Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. Yuki Kaji is the one that won that one.
Yeah, we butchered those names.
Yeah, most definitely. Voice actor for English. We have Amanda Lee, Amalie from Marine Kitagawa from My Dress Up Darling. Sheremy Lei, who plays Katoro Sato from Katoro Lives Alone. Natalie Von Sistine from Your Forger from Spy Family. Oh, I love her. Sue Wong Cho, who's Kage from Rankings of a King. Zach Aguilar, who's David from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. And Zeno Robinson from Gamma 2 from Dragon Ball Super. And okay, that's this one's actually a little bit of a tough one. The one that won it was Zach Aguilar. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think he shouldn't have won.
Who do you think should have won?
I'm pretty sure Zeno.
There's three of them. Zeno was great, but he only played the one role inside Super. And it was very superhero-like. So, but it was great, though. It fit the character very well. A lot of people love Gamma 2 because of, yeah. But I think it's really between Natalie Van Sistine from Your Forger or Amanda Lee from Marine Kitagawa from My Dress Up Darling.
That name sounds familiar. Amanda Lee.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Evangelion.
Amalie is her nickname.
She does Amanda Lee, I think she does Evangelion, if I'm not mistaken, as well. I think she's actually been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say I probably would go with Natalie Von Sistine.
Yeah, I do like.
Yor is just, it's so fun to hear just the switches that she can hit, like in terms of like emotion to non-emotion, to over emotions. Mm-hmm. It's really good. So
it's just one of those things where like seeing this, I'm actually very shocked that it is Zach Aguilar. Like no No disrespect to him because I think he played
He
David
did
well.
fantastic.
Yeah, he did very well. But again, it's just like if I'm throwing even Sharami Lay, who, if you guys recall, is the voice actress of Asuna from Sword Art Online. Even over her, I wouldn't put him above her. But with this list, I definitely said the no-brainer should have been Amanda Lee or Natalie von Sistine.
Thinking of somebody else then.
So, best anime characters, we have Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, JoJo Bizarre Adventure, My Dress Up Darling, Rings of the King, Spy Family. I think that for this one, Demon Slayer, because it's the Entertainment District, they definitely had the best characters out of this entire list. So definitely good. Congratulations there. Best main character, we have Bolji from Rings of the King, Chisato Nishiki from Licorice Recoil, David Martinez, Cyberpunk, Eren Yeager, Attack on Titan, Lloyd Forger, My Spy Family, and Maureen Kitagawa from My Dress Up Darling. The winner for this one, Eren Yeager.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah, that one
was Spy Family.
Yeah. I mean, Lloyd is really cool, but I can see why people did not choose Lloyd Forger. Must protect at all cost characters. Anya Forger from Spy Family, Boji from Ranks of the King, Kage from Ranks of the King, Komi Shoko from Komi Can't Communicate, Katoro Sato from Katoro Lives Alone, and Marin Kitagawa is from My Dress Up Darling.
It's Anya.
Yeah, it's
all the way Anya.
Yeah, it's definitely Anya. It's definitely Anya. I could see a particular group though saying Maureen Kitagawa, to be honest with you.
I could see it, but I'd also argue that she can kind of hold her own still, though.
Oh,
Anya's just a ball of just pure, just light that needs to be protected at all costs from the world.
Absolutely. Got a couple more here. Best supporting character, we have Hayasaka from Kage Loves War, Anya Forger, Spy Family, Kage, Rings of the King, Rebecca, Edge Runners, Tengen Uzu from Demon Slayer. He's the shinobi Hashira. And then Yor Forger from Spy Family. This is a hard list. I loved Rebecca from Edge Runners. I love Ai Hasaka from Kage Loves War. I love Yor Forger. And that probably would have been my pick. Tengen is just way too cool of a character. I feel like he's a supporting character, but he should not be a supporting character because of how cool he is. Like, he is really, really, really dope. The winner of this one, Anya Forger. She's just hilarious. But I personally would have chose Yor Forger, or maybe even.
See, here's the thing.
Rebecca.
It's hard with this one for me, but I can definitely see a reason why Anya. Because look at how Anya reacts to the world. She supports the world, and is the main character kind of for doing so.
True, but they're like that's not what they're going for.
I know, but that's I mean, it's.
He sort of is a supporting character because how she acts. She more or less moves in the background to manipulate things. While they do the front thing, she's basically the person that you ain't paying no attention to. That's the real brains of the outside.
Sort of. I mean, like, if we're going by pure supporting character, like best supporting character, really, the only answer is Ai Hasaka. Because she really is a supporting character. Like, Anya Forger, she's really a main character. I don't know about Kage. Rebecca, she is a main character. Tengen, he is a main character. Yor Forger, actually no, Tengen would actually be a supporting character. He just had a main character arc, but he's actually a pretty big supporting character. Yor Forger, she's a main character. So if we're going by,
can we just get Anya this one thing? Okay,
she got the definitely. She got the last two already. I'm just saying in general.
Oh, what's one more?
If we're saying in general, if we're going by true like supporting, it really is Ai Hasaka or even Tengen. It's one of those two. And then lastly, the big one, anime of the year. And this one I have to disagree with. But we're going to get on to it. Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, The Entertainment District. Licorice Recoil, Rings of the King, Core 2. Or Spy Family. Of this list, I think it's an easy Spy Family.
I was gonna say Spy Family, but
Yeah, but the actual list on here for Crunchyroll, congratulations, Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Yes.
I still think Family should run.
Yeah.
Anya and their family is just too good.
Yeah, I think Spy Family should have won that one. I think that's an easy win with what we had, and I say that because if Attack on Titan came out last year for the first time, then I'd say Attack on Titan for sure. Demon Slayer, if that came out for the first time last year, I'd say Demon Slayer for sure. But those to me are not really animes of the year because that's a season. If it's a season of the year, then yeah. But to me, they're already established. So I don't know why they're even in that list in the first place. Spy Family came out last year. You know what I mean? Everything else that's on that list came out last. Rankings of a King didn't, but still, like I don't know what they're doing there. So it's kind of weird that they did that. But I think Spy Family should have been the true, even over Edge Runners. I think Spy Family should have been the true winners of last year.
Yep.
And then lastly, we have a little fun one for you guys. I know we went a little over, so we're about to wrap it up after this. We have PlayStation Plus out there for you guys. Stephen Petit from GameSpot says the last batch of the free games for PlayStation Plus subscribers is now live. The PlayStation Plus in March lineup includes 3 games: Battlefield 2042, Minecraft Dungeons, and Code Vein. All 3 games are available to claim until April 3rd. So if you guys do not have any of those games, might as well add it to your library and start running house.
Let's be real. How many people actually got Battlefield 2042?
Me.
I am so sorry that you paid for it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. So I played the beta before the game came out, and I enjoyed it, but I was like, I don't see myself enjoying this by myself, and I knew that that's where this was going to happen. Then the game came out. Some time had went by. One of my buddies has like, hey, me and my dad, we have Battlefield 2042. We want to play it because we're Battlefield people. Will you pick it up? I was like, if the price is right. Price was like $20. Actually, I think it was like 15. I picked it up for the PS5. Tried to play with them. It's cross-play. It's not cross-gen. So they're on PS4. I'm on PS5. We couldn't play together.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It should be cross-play and cross-gen. I don't see how that even works.
There's actually quite a few games that are like that. Like you can do cross-play, but because of like, for example, if I have like FIFA 2023, that is cross-play, but it's not cross-gen. So if I have it on PS5, I can't play with somebody that's on PS4 unless I have the PS4 version. One of the core reasons why, when the game starts up, there's loading screens for the PS4. When the game starts up for me, it goes right into the game.
Battlefield didn't really work. I mean, it didn't work on either one. So they was both on the same problem and in the same boat.
I'm just saying again. In general, the loading, all that good stuff was so much faster. Technology was so much faster inside the current gen consoles than the last gen. So for that, I had the PS5 version of Battlefield 2042, but I didn't really play it much because again, I was not cross gen. Then my buddy, who asked me to get it in the first place, ended up picking it up for me for the PS4 version so I could play with them. And now it's free on Plus.
Well, now you might have some more because I'm going to go ahead and get it and probably download it on the PlayStation.
Let's go. But yeah, just make sure that if it gives you the option of a PS4 and PS5 version, get both. Just get both. Okay. So yeah.
All right.
So there you go. So ladies and gentlemen, that is our All Things Gaming episode 7 on March 7th, 2023. And like I said, it's pending. Actually, it's confirmed. I will be streaming on Thursday with Dr. Cuse, Shaolin Cuse. So I'll be streaming that on Thursday, but we are seeing if it's going to be Dying Light or if it's going to be another game. So it's 6 p.m. if you guys want to see some streaming. Make sure you guys tune in for that. Maybe for like a couple hours, all that good stuff. Have some good time with it. But if not, you guys can always check us out later on, or you guys can visit this lovely channel next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. We could go from there, have some good times. Once again, I'm Malachi36, a.k.a. Flash. We have Ace the Nine Ball in the house. And Middle Dewey Carrot. Highly concentrating on something. Until next time, everybody.
I was getting those PS5 downloads.
we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Control Alt
Complete.
Complete.
Patience.